I got good advice from a guy that was Flippo the Clown. Flippo the Clown, who was
in Chicago. I mean,
Columbus.
Yeah.
Oh, incredibly popular. And there came up a time when somebody else actually owned the name Flippo the Clown. It was the trademark for a bread company. And Flippo had been doing the show. They were sponsoring it. Then they stopped, and Flippo kept going on. It was now Flippo's Afternoon Theater. And about 2 years later, the bread company suddenly realized, hey, wait a minute, that's our trademarked character. And so their lawyers and Channel 10's lawyers got together, and Flippo had to go off the air, and he was the highest paid production assistant because they kept him at the Flippo salary. And that went on for about 4 months, and then Channel 10 got the rights to Flippo, and then Flippo got the rights from Channel 10. And but during his time off, a bunch of us are sitting around having supper, and he says, one thing I learned about this business is you got to make it when you can. You don't say no to anything that's going to ring the cash register, because tomorrow, you might be out the door simply because your ratings weren't bad or the station got a bad letter about you,
And now you're doing movies and some actually live movie presentations.
Oh yeah, it's it's an enjoyable thing. How can you say coming to a convention like this could be considered work?
Yeah.
And it's really one of those things. All of my life, even the Army, I've never considered that I've really had to work. Like during high school, I was a movie usher. So I got paid to stand on the aisle and watch movies, and occasionally help a lady find her purse with my flashlight. Carry a bag of popcorn up to the popcorn stand so they could, and they're stand and watch movie and get money for it. In the old days, the neighborhood theaters would have a main feature, a second feature, and then the main feature again at night. So 7 nights a week or 5 nights a week, whatever my schedule was, I would stand in the aisle and I'd see the main feature twice for 2 or 3 days in a row, and the second feature one time for 2 or 3 days in a row. And the requirements to get that job were really unbelievably strict. But I got it because I fit the uniform of the kid that quit.
Well, that
was necessary. The requirement.
That would be necessary. Otherwise, have to get a uniform.
Yeah, but then I did that, and the Army was like, I was a radio TV theater at Ohio State, so I mean the schoolwork I didn't consider that work. Also an English major. And then went from there to the Army, which was making movies for the Army, not work. Coming back out of the Army, working at an ad agency, doing part-time radio at night, and then full-time radio disc jockey, not work. Again, I've never had to lift cement blocks off a truck in the sun, So
and yet you've given so much enjoyment to so many people.
Well, that was
and they still recognize that.
I appreciate that immensely. But when we're doing it, and Flippo and I used to talk about this, and a lot of when we're doing it, we don't realize, we think, okay, people enjoy it, but we sort of consider tomorrow it'll be gone and there are problems in the world. They're not going to remember Flippo's show or Fritz's show or Dan Immel's show or something like that. There's World War III on the horizon. And we never really realized that what we did, that we sort of considered the sprinkles on the pie on top of as being much more than, just nice entertainment, but forgettable. Because when they asked me to do this show, they asked me 4 times. I said no, because I don't think anybody's going to be interested. And my family, and they finally talked me into doing the first one. We went, and it was at a theater. It was Night of the Living Dead, and we were at the Grandview Theater, 250 seats. We pull up, sold out. I was expecting 10 people to be there, sold out, and I turned to Mike.
Little did you know.
I turned to Mike, my producer, and it was mea culpa, when do we do the next one?
There you go. Well,
that was 2010, and we're still doing it.
And you're still doing it, and hopefully for many, many years, because this is something that just needs, people need to see these kind of things, and the special effects that are still done, even probably a little easier than when you were doing them. And
certainly much easier and much more.
Thanks to computers.
Yeah, and CGI and things like that, so that I am astounded by, like I do all my stuff now in front of a green screen. At Channel 10, they would do the effect while I was, and so I could see it in the monitor how it's working, and if it wasn't working, I would curse, so they'd have to do take 2.
Yeah.
But here, I don't see the finished version. I know what the effect is going to be because Mike and I have talked about it, but I don't see how it turns out until we show it at the theater and I see it for the first time with the audience.
And are you surprised when you see that?
I'm surprised that it looks so much better than I had envisioned.
Especially on that big screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was astounded that this little disc, these movies look like it's a brand new 35 millimeter print, and the sound is incredible. And again, coming from the days when 35 millimeter was tops, and then 16 millimeter was next, and 8 millimeter was bottom of the thing, that now this little silver disc, boom.
Well, and thank you so much for spending the time and being here and coming to conventions, doing the shows, and continuing on what you've done for so much. And again, to continue to entertain and show people show us all how this is done.
Well, thank you so much. I consider interviewing with people like you as a fringe benefit of the job. And I worry when nobody wants an autograph or nobody wants an interview. That's when I say, well, maybe it's time to give the glasses to my son or put them on the mantle. Anyway, thank you so much.
That'll never happen. Thank you.
So do I.